First of all, I want to thank everybody for just the atmosphere that's here. We've got a great group of media outlets. We saw the Beulah Bobcats that came before us, another Lee County school. Appreciate what y'all do for the schools of Lee County and East Alabama, just covering high school football. For us, whenever we start media days, that's kind of like, in my terms, in the coaching terms, that's kind of like, oh crap, that means, hey, it's here. If you start talking about media days and you get those emails about, hey coach, we've got, need to get by and see this kid or take a picture of that kid, and y'all start ramping up your coverage of high school football, that means that we're only a few weeks away. And so we're excited at Beauregard to start, my fourth season here at Beauregard and get this thing started. Excited about the young men that are in front of you. Mr. DeMark introduced them. We do have on my left, Caleb Piner. Plays inside linebacker for us, will be a 2-year starter. Tremendous story behind Caleb Piner. Came to us after my first year at Beauregard, and really just what, to me, embodies high school football. When you've got a young man that, I'll be honest with you, when the grades that he brought to Beauregard probably wasn't nothing his mama was smiling about, but the grades that he's got going into his senior year, I promise you, his mama's smiling about. And it's not just what he's done in the classroom, it's turned into the effect that he's had on our football team as a whole and then us defensively as a whole. The next young man to my left, ZJ Grady. ZJ came to Beauregard. ZJ grew up in Beauregard, had a little transition, and then me and him rolled into Beauregard together. When I came to Beauregard, ZJ came with me, and ZJ, tremendous young man. I know Mr. DeMark, they talk about the stars or whatever, but I think ZJ put it very precisely when he said, really, all those things don't matter when it comes to your performance on the field and helping your team be successful. And ZJ's done that. He'll be a senior this year in the 4 years, the 3 years we've had together, and also this fall he'll do a lot for us. Is a defensive starter, but also plays a lot of running back for us on the offensive side of the ball in key situations. I know if you watched this last year in the Kickoff Classic, you saw ZJ in the backfield. So ZJ does a tremendous job for us, as both of those young men do as leaders on our football team. That's in the weight room, the locker room, the classroom, in the hallways, and just everything that goes on about our school. These two young men represent us really well. The third young man that I'll introduce is Jackson Gaither. Jackson, another great story about how high school football is for everybody. When I got there, Jackson was playing receiver, and Jackson said, "Coach, I want to do something that helps our football team." I said, well, "Hey, buddy, have you ever tried being a specialist, which is involved in the kicking game?" And Jackson started punting that spring, and then here we are a year and a half later, and he's our returning All-State player. He was All-State punter in 5A football last year. So just tremendous stories of what high school football is all about. And our goal at Beauregard is always to make your high school football experience a top 10 experience in your lifetime. I get it. It shouldn't be above your religious experience. It shouldn't be above, getting married, having children, maybe that first big-time job or owning your own business. But somewhere in that 5 to 10 range, our goal as a staff and our goal at Beauregard is to make high school football a top 10 experience for our young folks, our young men. And that's what we try to do each and every day. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of what we want to try to do. We live by a blueprint at Beauregard. Anytime I get in front of people, whether it's you guys or whether it's the teachers at the school, I'm going to preach our blueprint. When we got here, that's what we patterned our every day, our 365 after, not just our Friday nights, but our 365 after our blueprint. And the blueprint goes like this. The first thing is go hard. The reason we start that first is because our vision, our goal as a coaching staff, and as really, let's be honest, as men in this room in society, is to teach young people that there's value in hard work. That's what the go part means to us. Now, there's a lot of other things around it, but in reality, we just want to teach that when you show up every day, you're going to have to empty the tank. You're going to have to give us your best. And in reality, as they become young men, as they become grown men, that they continue that in life. The second phase of that is do right. We all understand that Nobody's perfect. None of our young men are perfect. None of our coaches are perfect. None of us sitting here are perfect. There was only one that was perfect. But we do want to establish everyday habits that help us do the right things daily that lead to lifelong success. So yes, we want to go hard and we want to do right. And then the third thing is expect to win. You have to have the first two before you can have the third. You can't expect to win if you're not giving us your best every day. You can't expect to win if you're not making daily habits, if you're not doing right things on a daily basis that lead to lifelong success. So those things have to occur first. But the expect to win is really a mindset that goes into that every day I show up, if I give my best, if I do right daily, that I'll have an opportunity to have success, not only on the football field, but in life as a whole. So we always want to preach our blueprint every time we show up. So that's kind of our 365. This year, as we go into the fall, we're excited about where we are. We understand that there's no more of Beauregard slipping up on somebody like we did when I first got there. It kind of was in the lull. We've ramped it back up. There's none of that. We've been ranked in the preseason polls in the top 10 the past 2 years. So we understand that that not necessarily a target, but understand this, there's an established level of play, that there's an expectation when we show up on Friday nights. And we understand that that's a high level of play. And that's what our people pay hard-earned money for, and when they come and watch these young men play. All right, let's get the party started. Let's go. Come on with it.
I'll acquiesce to that, Coach Jack Patterson with WRBL. You talk about the blueprint. It's year 4 of the blueprint for you. Just what have you seen from day one to now with these boys, and what are you looking forward to the most as you get ready to kick off this season?
That's a great question, because I know me and Jack talk a lot, and he's been on board with the blueprint since I've been here, and I appreciate him a lot. The way we look at it now is it's more of, when we first got there, it was helping young men understand what I just explained to you guys. Okay, what the blueprint looks like. All right, now we're past the point of the young men understand what it looks like. Our job every day is to live it every day, and then what these young men do is they demand it from each other. And I think that's where we are heading into year 4. Is there's the expectation from these guys to their teammates every day. There's more of a demand for that blueprint every day.
Year 4, obviously is important because, if you get a kid that's was a freshman when you got there all the way to senior. So talk about, whether individually or collective as a whole, some of these seniors that have been in your program all the way through and how important that is going into their senior year.
I got you. Well, you're looking at 3 of them, okay? And there's about 11 others that have been with us, are seniors this year, and some of those guys have been with us for 4 years. My 3 years here, going into 4th year. I think for those guys, it's kind of just parallel, jumping off the same question that was just asked. I think that their expectation of every day is so much different than what it was when we first got there. And then their expectation of what Friday night's supposed to look like. The atmosphere that we create as a team, the level that we want to play at, the energy, the enthusiasm, the effort that we want to give, those things are already established. And now it's our job to make sure that we bring our A game every time we show up. And that's what people pay that hard-earned money to see on Friday nights in high school football.
How you doing, Coach? Tony Reese, WTV, I'm out of Columbus, Georgia. You talk about the success Beauregard has had over the last couple of seasons, just this last season playing against Gulf Shores, who eventually went on to win that state championship. But you guys have been playing mentality-wise year in, year out, especially last year going to overtime with Valley. So how do you hope to pick up off that this season, as well as, just in year 3, just kind of how does this team rank as far as you, what are you most looking forward to about this team?
I see what you, I think when you're dealing with 5A football, especially in the South, and you've mentioned the past couple of years, I think for us, again, our region pretty much stayed the same. We added a couple of teams in Marbury, and Hopeful came back. So our region is still pretty much the nucleus of the region that when I got there. I think major steps in any 5A program for us, number one is us winning home playoff games, which we've done since I've been there. But I think the next step for us is going to be going to the Mobile area and winning playoff games there. I know the past 2 seasons that has been our nemesis, is taking that long ride down 65 and figuring out a way to win those type of ball games. We've scheduled some non-region opponents this year that I feel like, and our young men feel like, will help us with those type of atmospheres and those type of playing atmospheres that will get us ready for those type of playoff atmospheres. So I think, great question. I think that's the next step for us is continuing to build on what we've done, but then those big time road games and the second, third round of playoffs, find a way to go win those games.
Well, Justin, I was going to ask before Mobile. I mean, do you want to try to get a home playoff game this year? And I was going to ask you about your region. Just what do you see out of it this year? I'm sure you'll be one of the biggest fans of seeing Cam Dooley at Kentucky and getting on out of Valley. But yeah, what do you see out of that region? Do you think you guys can get a home playoff game this year?
Well, I mean, we've got a really exciting region. I know that at the top, Coach Horn and those guys at Central Clay, since I've been at Beauregard, that's been the program that we've got to find a way to win, the way to beat to win a region championship. I think that the guys at Valley, Coach Hunter, those guys do a tremendous job. Always athletic. Those kids play extremely hard. The guys at Elmore County, Coach Caldwell has done a great job with that group. They're always a really good football team. You've got, like Holtville, Coach Corey Lee is a friend of mine. That's their new head football coach. We've got some of the same background. He was the defensive coordinator that came into Prattville when I left Prattville to come to Beauregard. So some of the same type coaching trees. So I know he'll have those guys ready to play when it comes to that type of deal. Sylacauga is always going to be a tough outing. We've had some battles with them just since in my three or 4 years at Beauregard. So I think the region will be what it is. It's always going to be where you're going to go in environments on the road that are going to be tough, and you're going to have to find a way to win ball games at home. When you got your home region games, those are games you got to be able to win, and create the atmosphere at home that builds excitement for your fan base and to be able to go win those games. So yes, we want to host a home playoff game. We've done it here since I've been here. Of course, that's always a goal because it helps helps with seeding, and then that kind of deal. My pitch on the Mobile deal was the past 2 years. That's what's got us when we went on the road to go down to the Mobile area. So.
Hey, Coach, obviously you brought your defensive guys here and your punter, but offensively, who are y'all going to try to play through this upcoming season? What's the game plan with that?
Well, offensively, we've graduated a few offensive linemen last year, so we've got a really good nucleus of kids coming back. And the great thing about what we're doing offensively right now is there are battles every day for those reps. We call them Friday night reps to get those. Quote unquote starter reps. So we've got a really good group of young men on the offensive side of the ball that are battling every day. I mean, you say, Coach, it's July the 23rd. It is July the 23rd, and we still got kids that are battling for reps before we get to August the 23rd. So to me, that's what makes practice exciting for us right now is the competitive spirit of just our offensive in general. The Coach Wallace and his staff have done a tremendous job kind of revamping what we're going to do offensively to kind of fit the nucleus of kids that we've had. We've been a big run-heavy team the past 2 years, but that's because we had a kid named Ja'Cory Tarver. Okay, let's be honest. All right, and so with the graduation of Ja'Cory, who was an all-state running back for us, things may look a little different, but it's still going to be the same Beauregard. We're going to play physical. We're going to run the football. We're going to play at a tempo that helps us find success.
Appreciate it, Coach. We're going to get you guys to come up, and if y'all will just introduce yourself and then tell us thoughts on the upcoming season or any goals that you have.
Hey, my name's Jackson Gaither, and I'm punter for Beauregard. My goal for the season is to not be on the field. I don't want to be punting for the team. If that means our team's winning games and we're not having to get in that fourth down set, then I'm happy.
Hi, my name is ZJ Grady, and my goals for this season, we done put in the work, we done worked hard. As you can see, we have a great defensive player right here. We got a great punter, great coach, and we put in the work, so it's time for us to reap what we sow.
My name is Caleb Piner, and my goal for this season, for hopefully us to get to a playoff. Great coaching, great staff, great players, like CJ said, and hopefully we get far and maybe get the ring this year.
Caleb, we'll keep you up there. Coach talked about how your senior class has been through the program the last couple of years, coming off the momentum of playoff appearances. Talk about how you've kind of stepped up this summer and your senior year here to be that leader on the team.
Well, from last year, we got upset from the first playoff game, and that really just put a mindset of like, okay, how can we come harder? Obviously ZJ right here, 3-star, and then our punter right here. Hopefully we ain't got to keep him on the field and stuff like that. And just the whole defense, the whole offense, and if we come as a whole, we're going to get there.
Kind of leading into the 2-star, 3-star ZJ as well. How are y'all really able to block out all the outside noise? I know we're recruiting right here going into senior year as well. A lot of that could be at the forefront, but how are you really locking in and just enjoying your senior year?
We really just, we really don't pay attention to that. We just enjoy it while it lasts, and hopefully it lasts a pretty while. So, yeah.
Well, with our team, a lot of our stuff is we like to focus on ourselves, and if we get ourselves right, we don't have to worry about anything else. We have to maintain what we're doing, and if we keep our mind set on a goal as a team, we can accomplish anything.
Jackson, we'll get you to come on up. I know you said a successful night for Beauregard, maybe you not being on the field very much as the punter, but talk about special teams as a whole, the kicking game, punting game, and how you guys have really helped the team here.
Well, I think that this kicking game is a big part of football, and most people think that it's not, especially around the football team. And what I think mostly last year, especially, I would put our punting teams be able to put the defense in a good position to stop their offense, and our kicking games just constantly hitting PATs, hitting field goals to where we can put a bigger edge on our opponents and make it easier for us to win.
Appreciate that. And Coach, any closing remarks for us?
And just again, appreciate you guys. Funny, Jackson mentions about special teams. Of course, anytime you got a specialist, they're gonna give him a hard time. But let me tell you about this kid. Today, okay, this is this morning now. All right, so we finish on Tuesday mornings with our PAT unit, which is our extra point type deal. Now, I don't know if y'all have been alive the past 2 days, but we've got about 5.5 inches of rain in Beauregard in the past 48 hours. So that practice field that we were on today was like holding water. And so we're down there, and not only does Jackson punt, he's the holder for our PAT. So he's sitting there holding the day, knowing he's going to have to leave there, shower quick, get dressed, come up here, and it's just catching snaps. The kid's kicking, mud's all over his face, all over his body, and boom, he jumps in here. And so to me, that's a testament of where we are as a program. When you got kids like him, and he was honest, okay, he understands, he gets the big picture, that the less he's on the field, the more success we're having. But it's great to have a young man that's got the work ethic and just the everyday grind, even in our specialists that we do. So I appreciate these young men coming out, appreciate you guys and what y'all do for high school football. We're excited at Beauregard again for this fall. And again, y'all come see us anytime. We'll be more than welcome to do what we can to make it pleasurable.